Right, lads, here we go. We've got Andrew Huberman, right? I have been a fan of this guy. However, look, just be open-minded. Give me a minute, right? I've watched a lot of his episodes. Like, I've listened to him a lot, trust me. And a lot of his podcast. I'm very familiar with the intellectual field in general of podcasts and intellectual talks, especially on YouTube, etc., right? But yeah, he's like a grounded scientific Western materialist for the most part, like scientific, where like when he does talks about psychedelics, he talks of it like, you know, you take a substance, it goes to your brain, and then you hallucinate stuff, and kind of. He's got an episode on magic mushrooms and psilocybin, which was actually pretty good, I think, for the most part. Other than he's coming from a materialist paradigm, but look, basically, he's done an episode today on fluoride benefits slash risks, right? And he says. That fluoride, basically he says the dose makes the poison. So he says that it is correct indeed that too much fluoride is poisonous. But as long as the fluoride is in safe levels, because basically fluoride has been put in our drinking water by the government. He also states this. He reckons that the government, well, I don't know where he's getting his sources from. He's just reading shit off of here. And obviously, there's things you better say if you want to make it. And he's at Harvard University. Is it Harvard No, it's not. Stanford School of Medicine. Sorry, he is. But I think Harvard, say like Ram Dass got kicked out of Harvard because he started to experiment with LSD. Keep in mind, he has David Goggins on there. You know, if you're familiar with spirituality and spiritual awakening and psychedelics, you know, I mean, but you don't even have to be. But it's kind of like, look, there's just like. If you know Lex Fridman, he did a podcast with Jeff Bezos, and in that he's drinking Coca-Cola on his desk. I don't know what he's drinking there, or how is that ingredients there? Fuck knows. But basically, well, I tend to not listen or take people too seriously if they don't know about psychedelics, because if you haven't done like deep psychedelia, then I don't really. Like, you know, there's a lot that you don't know, that's for sure. But anyway, I'm still open-minded. But anyway, he says the dose makes the poison. Too much fluoride is poisonous. But as long as the fluoride is in safe levels in our water, then it's fine. But that's the main point, right? If something is poisonous in high doses, it's poisonous in low doses. That's not actually inherently true. But there's something, it's because there's something off about some people. I want to be open-minded and not ideological, yeah, but there's something wrong with these, like, because basically, do you know Kurzgesagt on YouTube? Kurzgesagt, Pursuit of Wonder, for example, what's this channel yesterday? I regret leaving such an arrogant comment, kind of. I left a couple, so Infinite Now, this is like philosophy without, like, he's speculating about the nature of reality, and I commented, you need direct awakening of God consciousness with 5-MeO DMT or this falls flat. What was the other comment I done? 1 second. Is there time without change? It's like, where is it? Sorry, 2 seconds. Here, this one. Yeah. Without psychedelics, this channel is pointless. All philosophy, well, without awakening is cringe. This is relevant. What did he reply? Yeah, I kind of regret. I need to. I'm yet to give a reply, but I don't know. Regardless of his reply, like, basically, it's like people seem to be missing the point, and this guy is like, it's like, bro. The thing is there are different people. Like, literally, there are people that are in like the fifth dimension of like next level enlightenment, and Huberman is not one of them. I know he isn't, because he doesn't talk about God consciousness. And but to be fair, like, even Leo Gura, the main problem I found with Leo Gura is that he said basically you can find. I drew the line with Leo Gura recently because he was at the time when they originally announced the COVID virus and the COVID vaccine, he said, you know, due to survival, you haven't got time to speculate. Like, you just gotta, if there's a new virus, you gotta take the vaccine. And yeah, like he's he was pro COVID vaccine. He did delete the video. I mean, the picture of him getting the shot, I believe. But yeah, he has explicitly stated pro COVID vaccine. He talks about God consciousness and awakening, but at the same time, he's getting COVID jabs. So, but he does acknowledge that he says he knows the absolute, which is God consciousness, which is infinity. And that's what I know as well. But he said he can be wrong about things on the relative plane, which is, are the vaccines good? Is fluoride good? Because it's more of like it depends on what information or you're consuming or how your beliefs are. But it's just like, look, so the government supposedly put fluoride in the drinking water because what Huberman is reading off of his computer here, or like, the thing is as well, it's like, you've got to be, I know that there's like a big plot twist coming, like a Machiavellian twist, so to speak. See that song Machiavellian Twist on my YouTube channel by Payday Monsanto and K Rhino. But he's just like, I don't know where he's getting these sources from, but you've got to be aware of like heavy censorship and like it's not as black and white as it seems. Talking for myself as well, like I can't be skeptical about everything except my own skepticism. But it's that, for example, science will not fund research that isn't profitable for the most part, in a way. Like, they're going to be biased towards what will turn an income. And the idea that, like, I don't know, like, the government, the same people, like, people, like, have this assumption that the government are, like, on our side or looking out for the population. I think people are super brainwashed. Going back to Leo Gura is, yeah, like, because keep in mind, Leo Gura went all the way through the education and the university system. So did Huberman. He must have, because he's clearly, like, some form of establishment in terms of, to become a scientist in a university, you have to kind of be a materialist, because if you burst everyone's bubble, they won't want you around. So that there are things that you better say if you want to make it, basically. And if I want to make it, if I want the system's help, I'll have to shut up and delete everything, and then like come back with this more grounded approach of business. Fucking online course. I get all my information straight from the source. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's like when I'm talking about Andrew Huberman and Leo Gura being basically NPCs, they could potentially, like, Leo has awakening experiences, radical awakenings, and I love Leo Gura, like his teachings about God consciousness. But then, like, Leo being pro COVID vaccine is like the stupidest shit I've ever heard. And then yeah, so NPC is like non-player character. I'm not saying that is what they are, but it's like a you can explain thermonuclear. What is it? Let me pull it up. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Bear with me. It's kind of relevant. I think it's funny. I just uploaded this on my Instagram today. If you'll hurry up and load. It's just a clip by Payday Monsanto. Girls are swallowed. Yes, and no more of these you can explain thermonuclear dynamics to monkeys, toddlers and flunkies. Trying to talk sobriety to a society that's bent on being junkies. The button is too chunky. No more pearls for swine. I'm aware that my take might sound kind of arrogant at the minute. Well, it's just basically, it stems from this deep intuition, and it's often about health. Like, I feel like people are so thick when it comes to health often. Like don't you see how fluoride, like, too much fluoride being poison means that fluoride is poison in a way. Because, like, the only other way that something can be poison like that is, like, if you literally physically override your body with so much of it that you just, like, blow up. But fluoride is not really like that. Like, on the back of toothpaste, it has fluoride in there. Kind of understandably, because that's for your teeth. But why do they put the fluoride in the drinking water? You don't need to ingest the fluoride. You don't want to ingest the fucking fluoride, do you? You want it if it helps teeth cavity, then great. Then put it on your teeth. Not to drink. Here's some comments. Summary. Andrew Huberman explains that the percent of fluoride in the water, the presence of fluoride in the water is aimed at strengthening teeth and preventing cavities. But, like, where do you get that information from? Like, it's aimed at that, but, like, who the fuck? Who's investing? Like, did the government really sit there and go, how do we save the population's teeth from decay? Aha! Fluoride helps, let's put that in the drinking water. Like, doesn't that sound a bit like, almost like, hold on, are we sure? Right, so fluoride is toxic in high levels, but we are going to put it in the water at safe levels. Just like the FDA, like, have, like, safe levels. And even Leo Gura, check out Leo Gura's video, How to Detox Heavy Metals. And Leo Gura says himself, there ain't no safe levels of, one sec. This is that Leo I'm talking about. And he says here at the start of his How to Detox Heavy Metals is mercury and lead are neurotoxic. There is no safe level to these chemicals.
How to detox.
And yeah, I think that, like, who's stating safe levels? Like, government approved, but it's like, bro, I'll tell you the way that I feel about it. It's like, bro, look at society. It's all out bedlam. In terms of, like, look, most people are thick, bro. A lot of people have a lot of health problems. Another thing is as well, yeah, is, right, this Leo is biased against conspiracies, which I'm going to have a big video and documentary and reaction video, etc., because I've listened to his video about his bias against conspiracies quite a few times now, and I've really drew the line, because I think Leo Gura is very wise. He's, like, basically, like, if not, like, the best teacher I've ever found, other than maybe some music artists in a way, but, like, I swear down, like, he went through the education system, and I think, like, he might know absolute truths, but he's admitted himself that he may be wrong about some things on the relative plane. And you were bigging up the COVID vaccine, Leo, but have you not seen the evidence now that that was poison for a lot of people? And intuitively, for me, it's just, yeah, it's like I'm proper anti-establishment in terms of, like, my intuition and my third eye, so to speak, is super activated. Not to be arrogant, I'm not trying to come from an ego place, and I'm sure I'll learn and evolve in the future, but it's like I have, like, this health ideology nearly, and it's just like, bro, fuck off the vaccines. This is my opinion, right? So don't take this down, YouTube, or, you know what I mean? Because that's another thing, is like, YouTube shut down everyone talking out against the vaccines. Huberman, where's your video on the vaccines? So people like Leo, potentially because he's had health problems, which is why he done this heavy metal detox in the first place. And again, Leo, you said that yourself, that health works with holistic integration, and maybe this error in your psychology is actually the reason why you have health problems, because he has Leo, the one who's biased against conspiracies, is the one who's been dealing with health problems for most of his life now, and I'm quite familiar with his what do they call it, autoimmune. He talks about it quite a bit. He has autoimmune disorder. But, like, then who are you going to? The doctors, right? The same doctors that prescribed me poisonous medication because I'm in a toxic culture. Because I needed to have a pee constantly when I was younger, right? Where, like, I developed this, like, health problem where I needed to have a pee all the time. And I went to the doctor. They didn't ask me, how am I breathing? How's my posture? How's my home life? What am I eating? Am I drinking from the tap? Is there Wi-Fi frequencies, potentially? Like, my phone now is on airplane mode on purpose because I have an intuition that nature is the cure, and the reason why everyone's sick is because We literally fucking live in this fucking concrete matrix. I won't show you out my window. I don't really know. I don't want you to know where I live, but it's like, yeah, I've been meaning to say this for a minute, but like, so Leo, I feel like partly why he was pro-vaccine is because he's had to rely on the medical industry because of his health problems. I think the best of both worlds can cure a lot, like things like ayahuasca. Like, I don't know, bro. Look, you don't need to put fucking water in fucking drinking, like it doesn't even go on your teeth. You're drinking it. If you want to clean your teeth, then clean your teeth. Don't put a chemical in the water. Shall we look what the fluoride... Right, let's just search up on Google now. Fucking... Fluoride, right? Can we get an image of the bag that it comes in? Because I believe I may have seen it before. Fluoride bag? Because the bag... Here we go. So Andrew Huberman thinks this is alright to put in water, yeah? The bag with big skull on it that says no. It says toxic on the bag, right? Look! It literally says poison all over the packaging. And you think that safe levels of that in the tap water is alright, is it? I've said this before a bit, man. Basically, like, I don't know what it is with this, like, brainwashing type thing, where, like, you can be awake in some areas, but I swear down, people are just thick, like, I don't know. Like, is it really just the education system? Like, basically, like, the intuition that I have is, like, yeah, that, like, what is all this, like, the concrete and then, like, the artificial technology and the radiation and, like, the vaccines and that, but, like, you don't need the vaccines if you're just healthy. If you don't eat polluted food, then you'll be alright. I've directly witnessed the corruption in the medical industry because they didn't help me. They didn't ask me none of that when I was on about my health problem where I needed to use the toilet all the time. And I was like probably 17 years old. I was drinking from the tap. My parents were giving me fucking Haribos and sugar and stuff, and I was just too young because I'd grown up around that stuff. And I actually found earlier, is it still on here? I don't think it is. I found another old video of me when I was really young, drinking fucking energy drinks, man. And like, to an extent, like, I am a victim to that. Not that, you know, take responsibility ultimately, but, you know, you do kind of just, like, get born into whatever you're born into. And if you're dreaming that, then... If you're dreaming all of reality within the mind of God, which I would say you are, then obviously you can't be a victim in a way, because... but yeah, like, I mean, it's not really that. But yeah, here's some old videos of me. I was doing, like, challenges. You can find this on my second Rumble account. And I'm drinking that shit. How the fuck is a kid, that's me, look, how am I able to get hold of that? That's not really my responsibility because everyone around me drinks it as well. And everyone thinks it's normal. And the reason why people like Andrew Huberman and Leo are brainwashed, potentially, in some ways, is because, like, I don't know why I like that. It's because you fucking... I'll stay subbed, I don't know. It's because when you watch soaps and, like, TV shows, basically they, like, you're unconsciously programming yourself. Like, when you're watching TV programs, you're getting programmed. In terms of, if you're watching, like, a comedian making jokes about, you know, because you're absorbing whoever you're listening to, you absorb their paradigm if you kind of take it on faith in a way. Where if you're watching, like, shows of, like, Hollyoaks or, like, EastEnders or of, like drama and, like, movies and things, like, everyone in that movie is... If you're watching a drama or something on TV and, like, every one of them is under the materialist paradigm, or, like, even if you're watching like, there's this... I don't watch any of it, so I don't know, it's just what I've, like, seen my parents watching. I don't understand why anyone would watch this shit, really. But, like, say there's, like, this show called, like, Come Dine With Me, where, like, loads of people meet up and have dinner around a table, etc. If they're all gone through the education system, and they're all drinking fluoride... Because the thing is the fluoride Huberman, you got to understand is that if you're drinking the fluoride and that's making you thick, which there are studies that it like lowers IQ if children drink it, I think, which is what the kind of the conspiracy is that basically the government is making everyone thick and weak. And if you haven't noticed, everyone is thick and weak. It's because they're fucking probably trying to kill us to an extent. Payday Monsanto would definitely say that is the case. And so would Mr. Traumatic in a way. It's like how the fuck has our culture become so weak? That's the main question. Is because if I'm interested in like a girl or anyone, for any reason, like to be their friend or potentially like in a sexual manner or in a relationship way, like I can't because everyone's on the Red Bull. And I'm not perfect. I have like bad habits to an extent, of course. I'm trying to get better and I always try my best, but it's like it's like I already know that everyone is going to be on the shit. And like Huberman said himself, like he doesn't let himself eat too much junk, and fair enough, it's probably not that deep to an extent, but it's like, why would you even want to eat, like people think it's a treat to let yourself eat poison. But yeah, I was gonna, sorry, I've been trying to say this for a minute, is look, so people think, like, take the COVID pandemic. Do you really think the government's trying to help everyone with that when they lock everyone down and force you to get vaccine mandates? Like, basically, my two sisters work in care, like for old people, in like an old people's home. And they were threatened to lose their job if they didn't get the vaccine. So they both got the vaccine. And then, so the FDA approved the vaccine, right? That's in America. But regardless, like the governments are approving the vaccine. And then after everyone got the vaccine and then everyone started to get ill, then they actually withdrew the FDA. I know that they did a few brands of the COVID vaccine. They said, don't take the vaccine anymore. Like the actual government have said that, and you can find on the government website that the vaccine indeed did cause deaths. It does state that to an extent on the government website. I have seen myself with my own research. But yeah, it's like, why is everyone thinking that the government is out to help everyone? Like, have you not seen who's in office? Have you not witnessed the fake news? Like how, like one thing that really kills me, and like I'm getting better with my awareness in general, and I see how like I'm just playing a game, because like life is just an endless process of problem solution, and it's just love and yin and yang. And ultimately, if I couldn't make this video if I didn't have something to say about this video, so you know, everything creates everything else and whatever. But what was I gonna say? I can't remember. Sorry. Do your research, fam, it's not a mystery. Everyone is brainwashed, they ain't got common sense. It's like talking to a brick wall, it makes me proper tense. The world is full of stupid people, no, I'm not impressed. Some people really need to grow a brain cell. Graphene oxide in your blood will make your veins sprout. Why do you think they're spraying us with toxic chemicals? Something fishy's going on, what's that strange smell? I kind of fucked up that lyric. But yeah, it's like, I don't know how, it's weird, man. It's like, it just seems like, what I think it is, I'll tell you what I think it is to an extent, is, and like, anything's possible because reality's an infinite imagination. I do think to an extent there is controlled opposition. I don't want to go too deep into that, but like, basically, I know that reality is a game of beliefs, but I think like the plot is going to unfold in terms of like, literally, people are brought. Potentially, like, a lot of people speculate that Joe Rogan was brought, because there's like a video of Joe Rogan like hating on chemtrails, like hating on the conspiracy. I'm biased towards conspiracies because it's just intuitive, I find. But often these like more entrepreneurial business people are less conspiratorial for some reason. It's because they're trying to work with the system. If you talk out against the system too much, you'll get cancelled. Like Traumatic did, or they tried to cancel him. It's like Hamza, this personal development YouTuber. Like, he talks about like personal development with young men, but he was like completely brought into the COVID stuff, because you can find him talking about it in old videos, yeah, he said he was going, like, at the end of one of his videos, he's like, alright, I've got to go now, guys, I've got to go get my COVID test. So he's talking about personal development for young lads. But he's also going to get his COVID test. And even Hamza's pretty good with, like, he avoids plastic, he doesn't drink tap water, he talks quite good on the health in general. But I don't know what it is, really. It's just like ideologies clashing in a way, or like... And I know people like Mr. Traumatic, like, I don't know, bruv, because you have to actually see it. Like, when you take loads of mushrooms and you literally witness fucking God come out of the sky and fucking you just download infinity, then the name of the game changes. And like what I was going to say earlier is like, yeah, on that same trip that I was on about where God come out of the sky, I met this girl, and I was talking to this group of people about this vision I just received, and this one girl looked very disturbed. And then after we parted ways, I pulled out my phone, and the first video I got was talking about how basically there are different alliances on Earth, and that Alex Jones does entertain this idea as well, I've heard. Mr. Traumatic does, and basically, not only are people potentially brought by establishment, in terms, I'm talking about the wealth disparity. Payday Monsanto is a very good example of this. How it goes a lot deeper than people think. Like the planet was literally stolen. Like the wealth disparity is so crazy, and like we're literally in like a controlled grid of like false information. Like we're literally in a grid of like red brick houses, and like you're just born into, like, humanity is still very much in the dark ages. But what I'm saying is that I know it's a game of beliefs, but it's like literally, yeah, when I pulled out my phone and the video said like that some people aren't people, basically, it was very synchronistic at the time. It really depends, because like you can see a video that says you've now, like, imagine me right now talking to you right now. Get this right. I can do this to you right now, right? Welcome, soul child. You are now in full alignment with the newer frequency. To anchor yourself in the new Earth timeline, connect the breath. The breath is the central controller of this new Earth frequency that you've just shifted into. In this new Earth, everything is made out of light, and you are in the new Earth frequency now. Welcome to 5D Earth. Alright, I could have done a better job, yeah, with that. But the reason I done that is because basically, if you're in like a radical psychedelic, open mind, susceptible state, if you randomly stumble upon a video of that nature, which I did, which was obviously a lot better put together than what I just did, but basically, you can hear that video and you can go, oh, it's just a video on Instagram, whatever. But if you're on like loads of mushrooms and you hear that, you will actually go, yeah, and you will manifest it instantly. That's what happened to me, as I was on loads of mushrooms and I found a video of that nature on a whim that told me I'd shifted, and I actually did. But when I'm sober, it doesn't happen, or it depends. Like, everything's created in the mind. So if you believe fluoride is bad for you, it kind of becomes true. It depends if you identify with the body or if you identify with infinite awareness. But that's what happened with that girl, basically. It's like, I met like a robot reptilian fucking girl, because she was like glitching out and shit, bruv. Like, she knew that the vision that I was talking about I wasn't meant to know about it or something. And now, I think it's dangerous to go out on psychedelics now, because whenever I'm out on psychedelics, yeah, people play games with me. The world knows when you're tripping. I'm telling you, it's like, people ask you if you're okay, and you're just doing what you'd normally do. Or like, if I ever go in a shop when I'm tripping, all of the colleagues, like, like I was tripping once, and I went to Holland and Barrett to get some supplements, right? Probably again like some fake health shit as well, like to an extent. But yeah, I went to Holland and Barrett's, and the bloke scanned the products at the till, and then he gave me the products back, and then I put them into the bag, and he was like, "You put them in the bag, yeah?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then like he's just looking at me like and he's doing it because reality is within one mind, and it's just fucking with you, bruv. Like, if you ever go into a shop while you're like raging on psychedelics, like you almost can't help but just burst out laughing, because the whole thing is just too much to deal with, man. Reality is just too much. I just went on a big rant. But what I'm saying is, to conclude, is that basically Huberman, get this right,
and I want to be very clear.
so Mr. Huberman, yeah, he and him and all of these, like, and him, Lex Benjamin, basically these people are reptilian nanotech fucking, they're not humans. I'm obviously being humble. I don't mean that. If one of these wanted to do a podcast with me, I'd be very gassed, and I'd probably be less. But it's like, same with Adeptus Psychonautica and Josie Kins, like, because you're talking about psychedelics and stuff. But again, with Adeptus Psychonautica, like, you think that you're doing all this psychedelicness and that, but you're still drinking Coca-Cola. I don't know. I don't want to offend people, but if you're getting offended, then you're coming from an illusion of separateness anyway, so that's on you, bro. But yeah, like, I done a podcast with this guy, and he shuts down Leo Gura, because Leo Gura is like, I think it'll probably come up in a second. But yeah, it's like these like intellectuals, like, it's stuff like that, man. Jordan Peterson's like, oh, I don't think we know enough about psychedelics to prove that they're safe. Like, who are you? I don't get how some people just don't get it. It's like, and the reason I say David Goggins and stuff with people of this nature are somewhat like controlled opposition. And I know that sounds crazy, but over time, with more and more psychedelic experiences, you get more and more open-minded, because you realise that anything's possible, and when you experience true synchronicity, but yeah, it's like basically, where is this video? Yeah, he's like, yeah, like he's chatting shit about Leo Gura's awakening. I'm not the Messiah. It's like, yeah, but you're the one who drinks fucking Pepsi. But to be fair, he got the COVID jab as well, and they're both brainwashed with the health thing. But yeah, like, people like, right, yeah, where's my jumper actually? That is the best example I can think of. I don't know if it's here. It must be, surely. Right, there's this personal development YouTube channel called Better Ideas, right? And I brought some merch from Better Ideas. And I know where it is. I won't bother. Actually, here it is. Inaction is a slow death. I thought that was some next level wisdom, yeah, from a personal development YouTuber called Better Ideas. And this is the same nature as David Goggins, the same nature as Hamza, and the same nature as Andrew Huberman. Is they actually think, I mean, that jumper is right to an extent on the relative plane, but it's like Jordan Peterson's notion of personal development it's based on fear. It's to an extent he's right, but inaction is a slow death is like, it's of the same nature where people say life is short, but life is all there is. It's like infinite consciousness. So it's like, inaction is a slow death. It's basically like, you're just fooling yourself, because if you have awakening into God consciousness, you like, reality is like an infinite fucking paradox where, like, I was on the personal development stuff for so long, and it is true to an extent on the relative plane. Inaction is a slow death. You better get hustling before it's too late. Like, fear is an illusion. The only thing worth fearing is fear itself, to an extent. But it's like, inaction is a slow death. No, it ain't. You are literally timeless awareness. It depends if you identify with the body or awareness. So it's like, that's what I'm saying is, it's because basically when you awaken to that there is no time and you are God realized, like, you realize that it's weird how it does it. It's like it flips the whole game. Like, if you're in your ego, then everything looks one way. But if you are in God realization, self-realization, then like it's like everything like goes back to front. Like, literally, like all concepts are like seen through, where like everything's completely imaginary and it stems from the Godhead in the eternal now. So like you're completely aware that God is imagining everything in timeless infinity, and then you go, and then all media, all news, all drama is imaginary. When I was in God consciousness before, I turned on the TV and the first thing that came up was the narrator panning over a field, and she was like, "There's a dog and there's a tennis court as well." Like, and it's hard to explain. But when you're in God consciousness, it's scary because it's like you're about to no clip out of reality. But yeah, basically the lady was laughing at how stupid everything is because I turned on the TV and it was just a random scene because it was in like a meta perspective of going like, also there's a tennis court. And it's hard to explain, bruv. You can't explain God consciousness. But I know I've kind of gone off topic here. But that's what I mean. It's basically like, when I'm talking about these reptilians, is these people look like they're on their side by saying inaction is a slow death. Right? I thought that was a sick jumper, right? And yeah, my sister actually, who is one of my sisters, who kind of is dealing with depression, and she's on antidepressants. She saw that jumper that I was wearing, and she's like, "I like your jumper. That's a good jumper." Yeah, ain't that funny considering you're the one who's got mental health, and so did I until I awoke, because personal development based on fear is ugly. I think Krishnamurti might have said something about that. He has a video titled "Personal Development is Ugly." I don't know, I haven't seen it exactly. But yeah, it's like you think that these personal development people are on your side because they're telling you, like, it's motivation based on fear. You don't want to be a loser, so best get better. But like all these people, they don't talk about the vaccine, or psychedelics. Most of them have no idea about psychedelics, and yeah, you basically, whoever you're watching, the way that the media kind of works is it almost like they sell you what they're telling you as if you want it. Welcome to a video, like, oh, have you ever wanted this? Today I'm going to show you how to get it. And they just like, most social media is full of shit, man. I can't lie. Like, Leo Gura, a quote I like by Leo Gura is, he said, anything that you kind of go into, any pursuit in life, just go into it assuming that 90% of it is bullshit and 90% of the time you'll be correct. I like that one. But yeah, it's like, it seems like the personal development people are on your side, but really they're making you fear an illusion. They are on your side. I do like the channel still. I was listening to Hamza earlier, but you have to take it because they're talking from the relative plane. Basically, anyone who hasn't like had a radical awakening and God consciousness, and deep psychedelia and shamanism, they don't really know what they're on about. Like, you as God have been coping with eternity forever, and you've been doing this for eternity, literally. So you can't die. You're God. But yeah, like, these personal development channels just instill you with fear that you're, just to prove I wasn't losing, I did everything I could. Scared to feel the fear that I won't never reach my full potential and let everybody down that saw that I had something special. So without you, I don't know where I would be. LSD, DMT, psilocybin, ecstasy, set me free. Anyway, let's go back upstairs to Huberman and conclude this fucking video, mate.
Yeah, it's just like the thing that's relevant with the awakening is just like, yeah, when you... What do you mean, bruv? This channel has no videos, what are you on about? Yeah, it's like, it's just funny that, like, yeah, when you have like a radical awakening into the fact that you are God in the timeless eternity, it's like all of this is just imaginary. How to, it's like, you're always now, there is no time. Yeah, this is it, this is exactly what I mean. This is the best conclusion. Look, Andrew Huberman actually got Mark Zuckerberg and his missus, I think. Oh no, I don't know who that is. I did listen to a bit of it, but look, Andrew Huberman thinks that Mark Zuckerberg is going to cure all human disease with fucking artificial intelligence, when Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook was censoring the truth about COVID, and he's admitted this by now. Mark Zuckerberg ain't gonna fucking... It's like Neuralink. People think that you're gonna cure all disease with fucking Neuralink by Elon Musk, when Elon Musk probably got the jab as well, just so he can keep his job, because everyone around him is fucking brainwashed. Mark Zuckerberg ain't gonna do fuck all, bruv. Everyone knows that Mark Zuckerberg is a fucking reptilian. For fuck's sake, bro, Mark Zuckerberg is not gonna cure all human disease. And what was the other one actually? Is I don't know, it's like people think, like, you know that guy who's like committed to longevity? He thinks that artificial intelligence is going to measure our health in the future, and that we're going to have a blueprint for health because the robot will measure us. Traumatic has a lyric, I ain't been to the doctors in a long time, I just use wisdom, it's all epigenetics, you need to research into Bruce Lipton. And maybe this guy's right, where is he? Hold on. This guy. I don't know if this guy's an NPC or not. I don't know. I think he did loads of psychedelics, didn't he? I think he done loads of ayahuasca. I don't know. Maybe he's right. Look, I actually quite liked that podcast with him. But it's like, basically, the cure is nature, not fluoride in the water. The cure is not to manufacture a patented vaccine to inject people with. The cure is to stop covering the sun with fucking whatever the planes are putting in the sky. The cure is nature, meditation, deep psychedelia, breath work, but like indigenous wisdom. Indigenous wisdom is the cure. And when you are in alignment with the third eye of indigenous wisdom, you intuitively understand. How could someone ever get? Who would have thought that putting that in the water would not be wise? Who would have thought? Eh? Oh, but it's preventing tooth decay. Alright. Well, how about I don't ingest it into my fucking stomach then? And how, like, why? It's ridiculous, man. Come on. Like, if it's good for your teeth, then great. But like, then I'll put it on my teeth, then, innit? Don't put it in the fucking drinking water. I don't know where Huberman is getting his fucking sources from, where he's reading it from, but he's probably got like a research team. And yeah, I don't know, bro. But yeah, I mean, I've intuited that this guy is an NPC for a while. But yeah, I'm sorry to break it to you, Mark Zuckerberg, but you ain't fucking the future of health, bro. You ain't doing no innovation with health with your fucking, while you got your tap water on your deck. That's what I mean. You'll have a podcast like these, man, yeah. Like. So here we've got a fucking reptilian in disguise, and then we've got this guy who's another geezer. He got Mark Zuckerberg on his podcast also. So keep in mind that this guy got
Mark Zuckerberg on his podcast, and Mark Zuckerberg is the person who thinks that he's going to cure all disease with artificial intelligence, right? And keep in mind, all of this technology is emitting fucking EMF frequencies. That's why my phone's on airplane mode. But yeah, look, you're literally drinking fucking poison, bruv. That's got aspartame in it, and you're literally drinking that, and you're interviewing people about health when you're drinking that fucking shit. Like, who do you think you are, bro? It's like that stuff. You think that you know what you're going to, like, reading all these official sources from the government, but the government stole the planet fucking ages ago, and literally everyone is being controlled because they have all of the money. And it's so obvious when you just look at the landscape of the environment that most people live in. It's all out bedlam, bro. I can't find the clip of Adeptus Psychonautica, this like guy who's debunking Leo Guru's awakening, but then he's drinking fucking Coca-Cola while he. And I know that like the soul of Jarrett said just that. It's like you think that you're like a psychedelic geezer, but if you're still eating McDonald's, which Josie Kins eats Mackies, and Adeptus Psychonautica drinks Coca-Cola, and they're both materialist. Kind of. I mean, they're on the fence now a bit more, I think. But like some of their takes I've heard in the past are just ridiculous. And I've evolved since I done my podcast with him. I know I sound arrogant today. I don't know. I can't really be fucked to keep talking about this, to be honest now. But yeah, it's just like, how do you not know that like the substance that you're drinking is making you think that the substance you're drinking is okay? Like, you know, the guy who's drinking fluoride has obviously got the brain that's making him think that fluoride's fine because it's like killed his brain. So, you know, that's why Huberman's out, like, you know. I don't know. I gotta go anyway. My phone's like about to die, basically. One more thing.
Alright.
Yo, everybody's got a glass of that fluorinated water. Don't matter if it's even good, all these chemtrails all around us. Might as well, McDonald's, roll a blunt and get a bottle. We ain't worried about tomorrow, hit the club and throw my dollars. Everybody's got a glass of that fluorinated water. It don't matter if it's even good, all these chemtrails all around us. Might as well eat McDonald's, roll a blunt and get a bottle. We ain't worried about tomorrow, hit the club and throw my.
All the vaccines, all the flu shots, all the programming. Tell me who shot.
All the stress, anxiety,
Hard to breathe, got a woosah.
corporations, all this data.
Someone's watching. Tell me who's that? Corona centers.
Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, tell me who's bad. Genocide, homicide, suicide, genetically modified. Yeah, they seeing everything with the camera's eyes like it's Black Friday.
People get trampled when they see them advertised.
Uncivilized,
Wild carnivores.
prehistoric times.
Beverages like Flint, Michigan. Made me wonder what's in it. You heard the word. They finna purge. Get ready for
Thinking water fluoridation is fighting tooth decay. Thinking it's not an industrial waste that they threw away. Forget thinking what the logical think. I'd